Over 70% of the apprehensions by the Border Patrol over the past 6 months have been from other than Mexican.
Doctor, a lot of the press is suggesting that because of the violence in Central America, that's a cause for a lot more immigrants coming from Central America. What's your view?
Well, I've interviewed a lot of these people sitting on and waiting for the Border Patrol. And in fact, our volunteers have rescued a lot of them. They were on the verge of death. And they're telling me if they can find a job in Honduras, they might get $3 a day. But finding that job is a problem. And they're starving. These people are starving to death.
Thank you for that.
Thank you both very, very much. Jim, there you are. You snuck in here. I didn't see you.
We were in the wrong place.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the Brooks County Courthouse and the annex kind of get mixed up.
And I didn't know the difference, but I do now.
All right.
Senator, I want to thank you for taking time off from your family this Sunday to being with us and hearing our complaints. I don't know of any other senator from Washington, D.C. that would be down there. Thank you very much.
I never claimed to be from Washington. But thank you for the sentiment. I appreciate it.
Right. And my complaints are not any different than anybody else's, and I don't want to get repetitive. The only thing I can come and attest to is that we're at the top of the funnel, and the funnel comes down to the checkpoint. And so we don't have the deaths, we don't have the drugs concentrated down one trail. We have Highway 1017, which runs from Lynn, San Manuel to La Gloria, and every quarter of a mile is a crossing point. As Art will attest, there's not one place that they pick. It's they pick one place per day or per week, and they use that until somebody tells them, hey, let's move. Primarily when they come in 2 or 3 vehicles. There's a guide that comes out in front, and he's on the cell phone telling the next car, coast is clear. I don't see DPS, I don't see Border Patrol, whatever. Then the guy comes in the Ford F-250 with plywood in the back and the illegals underneath or inside. And, you know, if there's any disturbance by the law enforcement, of course, they don't chase them, they always follow them at a distance. But they ram the fence and they run like hell and they don't catch anybody. I venture to say that they don't catch more than 9 or 10% of any truckload of illegal. Now, you all can verify that if you will. I don't know. I have seen Chinese because we ran them down on horseback. I haven't seen that many from other countries except Guatemalans and Salvadorians and a few Mexicans. Most of ours get there about 5:30 to 6 in the morning, and so you have to get up very early and got to be at the right place at the right time to find them. And that's not happening because we work during the day. Now, 2 weeks ago we had a ram and run near Hargill. The next day we had one on our home place, and the next day we had another one farther west. That's 3 of them in 3 days. I know a neighbor that had 3 in 1 day. It goes on and on and on. And then when you want to say, who's going to pay for this? Well, you can go through the county commissioners and you can jump through loops, and who's got time for that? You got to go fix fences. So there's bound to be a better way, and I like Fred's idea of incorporating into an insurance, because I leased some land and the landowner actually turned it over to his insurance and they paid me. Whoopee. So, and I'm willing to work with Fred of coming up with some checklist, you know, scratch in the box and make it simple for the insurance people to be able to do that. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Russell, Cage Ranch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being able to address everyone here. Senator, thank you. I'm going to go through a few little, might be trivial things. Considering like water crawls that are broken, destroyed, fencing that's torn down, and trash. You cannot believe the trash. I think you're going out a little bit later. You're not going to see all that much because we spend a lot of time picking up the trash. So anyway, little things like that. I'm starting to get, some of my hunters now are really starting to grumble. They are not like it out when they're out there paying us big bucks to come out and hunt. To have a group walk by, they're blind. And it's happening more and more, and they're kind of getting tired of it. And you know, if they leave me, that goes a good portion of my income, especially with the drought. It's really important to the hunting income. I could talk to you for days, actually, like everyone here can, I'm sure. Let's see, there was a couple other little remarks I was going to make.
Anything on the checkpoint?
Something that I've seen just recently, and it's been, as a matter of fact, last week I was out on the ranch working on a project, and I was approached 3 different times by groups that were abandoned by their coyote, which rarely you see them, and the ones that get in trouble are usually the ones that have been abandoned. But this last week alone, in 3 days, I had 3 different groups come up to me and really hurt because they've been abandoned and they don't have a clue where they are. That's really important. And I haven't been yellow flagged yet, so I'm going to tell you a little story. This happened a couple of years ago at the hunting camp. I think I've told some of y'all about it. Hunting camp manager was there talking to his hands, and out of the brush comes this tall black guy. And he said, "Oh, you speak English." He spoke with a British accent, actually. We are from Bangladesh, and we have decided to give up, and we are going to turn ourselves into the immigration. Would you please call us a cab? Oh no, we are 7. We need 2 cabs.
Thank you, President.
I'll let this the rest of my time, and I can stay up and watch it.
Yes, sir.
Till the morning. He will take up the rest of my time.
Mr. Durham from the Altuve Ranch.
Yes. It's on the wood.
Thank you, Senator, for coming over here. We go back to the old time of Tobin and Armstrong and Catherine. So, thank you very much for coming over here. I am also very nervous getting up here and speaking, but I'm not too much on horror stories. I've lived on a ranch all my life, and I've just kind of seen it all. I'm into solutions, and I hope you try to get the gang of 8 to improvise and to secure our border. I think that will stop. Right now, I think the border is only 25% secure. I'd be happy with 75 and to slow all these. And the drug cartels are here. Everybody knows it. You know, they got all our property from here to the border. That's where all the stash house is. The kidnappings, the extortions, the rapes, everything is going on. But anyhow, that's the human movement. And as far as the drugs, I respect law enforcement officers. I was a law enforcement officer. My father was. My grandfather, Texas Ranger, George P. Durham. But I believe that instead of spending all of this money and trying to stop these drugs and buying millions and sending them back to the cartels in Mexico, why don't we spend some millions and millions on helping these people over here that are using, that have this addictive, compulsive, and obsessive behavior, and provide them some treatment centers, some professional facilitators, some professional counselors, rehab centers, and all that. And that will help all of the drugs. The 2 biggest killing drugs that you have here now, today, is alcohol and prescription drugs. And they're free. They're legal. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Joe Maley, Bee County Rancher.
Oh, one more thing that I would suggest, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, was I think that if you'd concentrate and maybe, as far as all these dead people and stuff, if you would just concentrate as far as moving all of these border patrol stations to the border. That's where they belong, border patrol. That would stop